Okay, thanks so much. Uh, we are here again for to do a next presentation about Astrosertanistica, a birth of a new cultural movement associating Brazilian semi-arid wilderness and Mars. I'm Professor Julio Rezende. This is the first time that we are doing a presentation about this topic, Artosertanistica, and we'll try to explain what is this. Uh, Here are something to think. Take care of planet Earth, look at the sky, and have an imagination. These are three important elements for our future that you need to consider. Astrosertanistica, this terminology comes from the astro, is a particle from astronaut. Certain is coming from a Brazilian term, a Portuguese term called sertão. Sertão is a geographic region in Brazilian semi-arid. Istica comes from the field study. In this case, is the study of the connection between the astronaut in the geographic area called sertão. And will be proposed to explain more about these ideas. Our motivation about to study this topic is reflected how sertão, this geographic area, can be inspiring to think about the future of space sustainability. The locus of our inspiration is coming from the Habitat Marte. We are based here in the corner of South America. Also, other maps showing our location in the corner of South America. Something important to say, in Brazil, also in other countries, there is a many ecosystems. For example, in this right area is more wet here, but there is a semi-arid place in Brazil. It's called semi-arid. Is in the countryside, as you can see here, okay, covering many different states like Rio Grande do Norte, Ceará, Paraíba, Pernambuco, and others. But I live here in this state called Rio Grande do Norte here in the corner, okay. And we are the semi-arid is presents a lower quantity of rain, and this is the photo. It's a part of inspiration, as you can see, very different. And also there is some trees that becoming dry during the summer. We have some rain during like 4 or 5 months around February until June. There is it's the rain season, the winter, but now I like the second semester here in this during this time. It's is completely, the vegetation is completely dry, okay, with many cactus in the landscape. And this is our geographic element of inspiration. Okay, the life in Sertão, the things about invite us to think uh, about the geographic isolation inspires many ways to think how to live in this area. And since the ancient times, we are in isolated places. You need to think about how to deal with uh, different techniques to live. For example, we need to have different learnings about how to live in the isolated areas. For example, reuse and repair the materials, no overconsumption, consumption by necessity, promotion of reusability, longer life cycle of products, as a modern and capitalist concept. And In the isolated areas, it's important to think about the recycling in the circularity mindset. Also, the sustainable learning from isolated areas. You can see also the important the reuse and repair the materials, consumption by necessity, promotion of reusability, and also proximity with the concept of zero waste. For example, we have here like a old kind of bottle done with it's a kind of plant that was used during a long time to transport water. And the example of the easiness about to buy a bottle of water and how we can imagine the difficulty in old times about transport water and consume water with the facility about today have a recipient to transport water, and also the dangers that the current situation would bring for our future, because we are consuming a lot of bottled waters, of plastic bottles, and also sometimes not having the correct destination for these plastic bottles, contaminating the environment with a lot of plastic. And in the life in the wilderness, we need to think about a more sustainable perspective of living. Also, in the isolated areas, in isolated geographic areas, the sky is very important elements, because isolated areas is possible observe the sky that is not possible to observe in areas in urban areas, because in urban areas there's a lot of the lightning pollution. In this case, the sky is uh, co- completely difficult to be observed in the terms of the sky bodies. The observation of sky and all of our wonder and contemplation of the mystery of what is represents presents itself as common elements between the past, the present, and the future. Also, living difficult conditions brings lessons about what our life will be in a challenging environment on Mars and Moon. This is a kind of cowboy from Brazil. It's also interesting to observe the kinds of the vestments, and it's done with litter, and also common characteristics between the countrymen, the cowboys, and the astronauts. Uh, Both of them are living long periods without rain, life in a geographically isolated location, psychological isolation, the importance of development of shelters adapted to climate conditions, in life with limited resources. In geographic isolation, is characterized by geographic accidents, logistical challenges, working as a time capsule. Encapsulation of cultural experience in the region known as sertão here, in the case of Brazil. Functioning as a melting point isolated from what was happening abroad, with new things that only arrived partially. Also, the culture is very important to deal with geographic isolation. Culture as derivation, escape, daydream, enchantment, and mental health. Introspection has led to the generation of various cultural artifacts. And the person in isolation sometimes would have more time to think about how would entertain himself or herself, and sometimes having the opportunity to create new artifacts. And for the thinking about in this environment, it's important to think about the sustainable challenges in Sertão, thinking about maintenance, durability, repairability, and usability. Also, it's important observing the observation of the sky, the habit observation of sky, of falling phases of the moon, observing cosmic phenomena at time when people lived in greater numbers in rural areas, on farms, and were able to observe a sky without light pollution. Okay, and it's necessary to think about how attention to the sky has always been present in our history, and it's also some of the topics that I presented previously. It's important to mention that many isolated places or planets offer the opportunity to reconnect with the sky. Reconnect with the sky is part of our nature, but since the beginning of the space age, we have stopped being observers and have start interacted with the sky. Now I'll be talk a little bit about the simulation of astronauts in Sertão. Also just presented part of these images in a previous presentation. But the Habitat Marte Space and Log Station is based in Caldside, 100 kilometers from Natal. And there is 3 different analog stations, Habitat Marte, Luna Habitat, and Lava Cave. They are spread in an area of 600 meters distance. The Habitat Marte presents the greenhouse, the Habitat Marte, a main facility, solar panels, auditorium, and a swimming pool called infrastructure for underwater extravehicular activity. A photo of Habitat Marte, photo from Lava Cave, and photos from Luna Habitat. And how can thinking about self-sustainability in backlands present conditions common to those found in the Sertão and Mars? We can see some challenges related to about our present permanence in analog habitats and the future exploration of Mars and Moon. Here are some challenges: the availability of water, financing, logistical aspects. To deal with this, it's also important perseverance and strategies are important. But not only this, we need to see the psychological perspective, also a strategic issue. In this case, humanities are very important for human, psychological, sustainable perspective and sustainable way of living. For our conclusion, we'll be talking about a little bit the cultural experience in Habitat Marte. Also, it's important to mention that Brazil is not a homogeneous culture, but a very diverse and vivid cultural experience based in geographic hugeness and different patterns about how the local societies were created. It's also important to let the audience that travels to Brazil be aware about the diversity and to show how these different cultures can inspire participants in analog missions. For our visits, we will be more focused in culture based in Brazilian Northeast. Our question is how Brazilian Northeastern culture would let the space and log missions very unique. This is part of our challenge. We consider a good cultural experience during a space and log mission is a basis to a healthy society that would be created in the future of habitats on Mars and Moon. We believe that the Northeastern culture is a unique way to encourage a healthy way of living in analog mission and future habitats on Moon and Mars. My last slide is a message related to the contact with wilderness can bring us many kinds of learnings about how to deal with social and geographic isolation applied to the future of space sustainability on Moon and Mars. This is a book that I published, but it's still in Portuguese, but we'll try to publish in English. Thanks so much, and I'm open to questions.